What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody. Look, let's just keep it 100, all right? Pixar is in really bad shape right now. They are in super bad shape when it comes to their content. They are no longer what they used to be. Pixar used to be the gold standard for children's entertainment. You would go to a Pixar movie, you knew it was going to be great for the kids. The kids would love it. You knew that there was going to be a little something for the adults. But now this is their latest offering, Elio. And it has flopped with the worst opening weekend ever for a Pixar movie. Yeah, you can just go ahead, pour one out for Pixar at this point. I think it's a wrap. I don't think Pixar is ever going to be relevant like they used to be. Things have moved on. The folks over there making the content's just like, y'all ain't getting it done. You know, you need John Lasseter back in the building. Y'all don't have John Lasseter. It's a wrap, all right? This thing is an absolute flop. It is even worse than what we thought it was going to be on Thursday, because you guys might remember on Thursday, the numbers were coming in somewhere around $27 to $34 million, somewhere in that range. Yeah, look at this. Elio earned $21 million on its domestic box office opening weekend, budget of $150 million, the lowest opening ever. Yeah, and this budget of $150 million is highly disputed, because you guys will remember we talked about this before. World of Real said it had a $300 million budget. So maybe it's 300, maybe it's 150, maybe it's somewhere in between. You don't know when it comes to Disney, all right? But ultimately, I think, yeah, this 300 is probably more accurate than not. And at the end of the day, Pixar, they did it to themselves. Disney has done it to themselves. This is yet another studio that Disney, after they acquire them, they have absolutely destroyed, all right? They've destroyed Marvel, they've destroyed Lucasfilm, and now Pixar is finally feeling it. They've also destroyed the Disney Princess brand. How many flops is this for Disney this year? Let's see. Captain America, Brave New World, flop. Snow White, flop. Thunderbolts, flop. And now we get to Elio. And they're going to say, well, what about Lilo and Stitch? Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, Lilo and Stitch. Yeah, got the job done. Yeah, but that ain't making up for all these other flops that y'all got. And you still got Fantastic Four on the horizon. What's Fantastic Four going to do? Man, this thing is an absolute disaster, man. But yeah, look at this number right here, all right? Yeah, Elio misses liftoff with $35 million. That's the total, worldwide total, all over the globe, including the $21 million that we just saw. That means it only made $14 million in all of the international territories. Wow, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Now, Deadline, of course, being the shills that they are, they will go ahead and try to explain this shit away. Oh, well, it didn't open in China, Japan, and Spain yet. Yeah, like that's to come later, right? That's later on. You know, it says here, oh, you know, Elio skews young, open to an international marketplace where kids' school holidays have largely not begun. Yeah, again, excuses. Okay, excuses. This 35 million global total is absolute garbage. And Disney right now got to be scratching their heads like we are going in the absolute wrong direction with a lot of this shit. They try to cover as well. Oh, Elemental opened to the same corridor in 2023, albeit on a more staggered release, and ended up continuing to build. Yeah, but it never made its money back. It never became profitable. And that's what these movies need to be. They need to be profitable, especially when you're spending $300 million on these stories. I mean, goddamn, why is any animated movie not $100 million or less? That's about where they need to be. I think like the Spider-Verse movies, right? Those Into the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse, all that shit. All them joints is coming in under $100 million or at $100 million. Why is this $300 million or $200 million or $150 million? This movie absolutely did not look like $150 million, much less 300. It's absolutely crazy, man. Yeah, they got to get that shit figured out right there. But look, this is probably the most damning statistic, right? You know how they said, okay, it's the lowest ever? Mac posted this up, even without adjustment for inflation. So without adjusting for inflation, you don't even got to adjust for inflation. Look, he zooms in on it right here. Toy Story, this is the opening weekend for Toy Story, all right? That's what this little highlighted number means. $29 million for Toy Story back in 1995, 30 years ago, all right? 30 years ago, Toy Story made $29 million. Elio couldn't do that in its opening weekend with the elevated box office ticket prices. This is terrible, Disney. What are y'all going to do about it? That's the question I got. What are you going to do about it, Disney? Are you going to do anything? Are you just going to sit up here and deal with these results? These results are pathetic. And it seems like every Pixar movie that comes out is just getting worse and worse and worse. All right? Elemental did eventually make more money than Lightyear, but now we right back to Lightyear territory. And who knows, maybe this thing does end up legging it out. That is always a possibility, but still, in order for even to get this amount back, you're still talking about making somewhere in the neighborhood of, oh, I don't know, like $400 million. I don't think they making $400 million. No chance. Just to get their break-even point, $400 million. And that's used to be like a Pixar like layup, like, oh, $400 million, bro, we gonna get that in like 2 weekends. That's nothing. We'll get that in 2 or 3 weekends, done. We're gonna be looking at 800, 900 million. We shooting for $1 billion. Yeah, remember, we saw this chart before. They've had 5 films all hit $1 billion. Granted, these are all sequels, but nevertheless, like, you know, Finding Nemo wasn't a sequel. That was an original movie, $871 million. This is the kind of stuff that Pixar used to do. And look, only a $94 million budget. Like, y'all got to get these budgets under control, man. These budgets are out of control at this point. You know, and even when you did spend that 175 on Inside Out and Coco, you're still over $800 million. You made your money back and then some. These guys are losing their ass. Absolute ridiculousness that's going on right now, man. Yeah, Pixar got to get it together, man, because look, if they keep going down this road, man, it's a wrap. The brand is absolutely tarnished. Everybody's just waiting for Disney Plus because that's about what it's worth. It's not worth the price of a movie ticket. It's not worth going to the theaters to watch Elio or Lightyear. It's not worth it anymore. And people are souring on it. Disney's a little bit woke. I'm good. I'm going to move on. I'll wait for Disney Plus. I'll throw it on for the kids. They can watch it. I ain't got to subject myself to that bullshit. It's not even interesting. And look, the ratings or the reviews on Rotten Tomato aren't even the issue. All right, it's got 84% from the critics, 91% from the audience for the people that actually went out and see it. I'm curious as to how this looks. Yeah, 90% there. You know, all critics, they only have top critics here, so who knows how the top critics feel about it. But yeah, I mean, overall, man, it's just like whatever. You know, it's a whatever movie. It's kind of mad. You don't really need to rush out to take your kids to watch it. They ain't missing nothing. They just ain't missing nothing. Will they like it? Sure. If you're under the age of 9, you're going to like this movie just fine. But it's not like Finding Nemo or some shit like that. It's not The Incredibles. It's not something that's just mind-blowingly great. It's just like, holy shit, this is a really, really good movie. You've seen this movie a million times. So, you know, I feel like in this case, it's a movie that a lot of people probably see the writing on the wall. Yeah, this looks like something I can skip, or I can just take my kids. Hey, kids, we'll watch this when it comes on Disney Plus. We've already watched Lilo and Stitch, all right? We've already watched How to Train Your Dragon. We good. We'll just wait for this on Disney Plus. And then there's probably some other animated movies that's coming up that are probably a little bit more interesting looking. But yeah, this just doesn't look interesting. The marketing was poor. Everything about this movie failed. And then the fact that they spent this amount of money, I still can't get over these budgets. These budgets are out of control. Like I said, whether it's $150 million or $300, it doesn't matter because this movie ain't going to make either one of those back, all right? It's not going to matter. They're not making this budget back. They're not making the 300 back. Yeah, this person said they'll likely shift away from making new IP for a while as a result and do spin-offs, prequels, and sequels of previously successful IPs such as Up, Finding Dory, Toy Story, etc. Yeah, they've already said that, right? Like Bob Iger said, we're going hard in the paint when it comes to sequels and prequels and spin-offs and all of that shit. That's what we're about to do. We're going to slow down on original content and we're going to try to just make stuff that makes money. Yeah, so that's why you got Inside Out 2. That's why you got Moana 2. All right. That's why you got Lilo and Stitch. You're going to get more of that. That's what Disney is basically saying. We're doing Toy Story 5 and we're probably going to do Toy Story 6, you know, and we're going to keep going. We're going to make all of our old content and just remake it, regurgitate it and spit it back out to you. And people will show up for that. Just like they showed up for Lilo and Stitch, people will show up to go and watch all of these spinoffs or all of these prequels and sequels. People showed up for Mufasa later down the line, but they showed up. Why? Oh, it's Lion King. Okay, we'll go and watch it. You know, that's something for the kids to do. And the parents may have a little bit more trust in some of those properties, knowing what they are already. But yeah, creatively, like Pixar is just a bankrupt creative place. They can't do what they used to do. Again, when we used to go and watch Pixar movies going through the 90s and early 2000s, oh man, every single movie was something different, something new. Ratatouille? What's that? Hey, this is actually pretty good. This is interesting. Oh, Monsters, Inc. What's this? Oh man, look, this is kind of cool. Every single thing they did, all the new original content that they did was great, but it was all headed up by John Lasseter. And once John Lasseter was gone, it's like it's been downhill from there. So yeah, I don't think that this thing is going to work out well going forward for Pixar. I saw no marketing for this movie, and I thought it was coming out way later this year. A shame because the concept for this looked unique and fun. Nah, it's not. Trust me, it's not. All right, it's not, Pigeon. Don't even worry about it. Seems like it was set up for failure from within. I mean, that's kind of where Disney is at, right? Everything is set up for failure from within. Sheesh, that's rough. I have never even seen an ad for this movie. You know why? Because Disney had no confidence in it. They probably peeled all the way back on the marketing because they're like, man, look, we already spent way too much money on this. It's kind of why I really believe this $300 million budget, because they said, yo, man, we already spent $300 million on this. If they spent $150 million, if that was the true budget, then why wouldn't you market this stronger? We've seen Disney, like go all in and throw $150, $200 million into a marketing campaign for like $200 million movies. We've seen that. But then it's like, oh, well, this one, we not throwing no marketing at all. I don't even know if they spent $100 million on the marketing. I doubt it. It seems like they just threw a couple of trailers together, had a couple of clips, threw up some posters and some billboards, and all right, that's it. We're done. How much that cost? Like, that's how they did it. Because they spent $300 million to make the damn movie. With all of this other shit, this overhaul, these rewrites, the director swap. Essentially what you read in this article is like they pretty much made this movie twice. There's characters in the first version of the movie that don't even appear in the second version of the movie. And so, yeah, when you're spending this kind of bread on a movie, it's like, yeah, we can't really market this very well. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with it. But what do you guys think, man? Does Elio, do y'all think it's going to leg it out like Elemental did? I don't think so. Right now we're at the end of June. July is coming, and July is packed. July is packed out. Not just with Superman, not just with Fantastic Four, Jurassic World. You even got the Smurfs. They got another kids movie coming up. So, okay. And then that got Rihanna, and there might be some Rihanna fans. It's like, yo, I'm going to go take the kids to see the Smurfs because Rihanna's in the Smurfs. So I think that Elio, it's going to be done and over with by the time we hit next weekend. It got maybe, it don't even really have next weekend because this is pretty much it. Maybe in the international markets, like they were talking, it's like, oh, it hasn't really hit all of these other locations and stuff. China and Japan and Spain. Hey, y'all better hope China and Japan and Spain pull it together, all right? But other than that, man, yeah, I think it's an absolute wrap. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Go ahead, jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. And thanks for watching. See you next time.